Hey everyone, I'm Kimberly B, as you can clearly see below. Today I'll be showing you how to do this half up, half down partial sewing style. So let's get right to it.
We're gonna learn this. We're gonna learn.
So this is what I used in order to achieve this look. I have combs and clips, moisturizers of choice. I'll be sure to mention what moisturizer I was using within the clips as well. Spray bottle for water, scissors, a needle and thread, a weave of your choice. You can use synthetic, real, whatever, but you'll need about 3 bundles typically, and then extra braiding hair if you want thicker braids. I use less than 1/4 of a pack, and then a mousse or holding spray. I also wanted to make sure I gave you all the deets on the type of hair that I used in order to do the sew-in. So I used the Beauty Forever Malaysian deep curly texture, and I used about 3 bundles of that. And then as well, I did include some extra hair on my braids, and the brand was Eon, and it was the Kanekalon, whatever you want to call it, and the color 2, and I used less than a whole pack. Alright y'all, so I started this style at nighttime and I finished the next day in the evening. So in all, I say it took me about 10 to 12 hours to complete. I started off by separating my hair into 2 parts, from the front and the back. The front of course will be braided, and then the back will just be braided down where I'll do my sewing. And I started off by doing a slanted part in the middle of my head and simply just making braids from there. Your choice in the way that you want your braids to go is really solely up to you. I did some of my braids small and some of them larger, just to give it some variation in style. And then from there, on the other side of my head, I basically went in the other direction and made like a pyramid kind of towards the top of my head. So it's really up to you, and you just do whatever you like. As well, in doing my braids, I used the Cream of Nature Argan Oil Edge Control on my edges, but I also used it to help to slick the hair up in order to gather it in order to make a braid.
I braided all of this yesterday, and I still have this little bit left. And then other than that, we'll be moving on to the back before we can put our bundles on the head.
And as I said previously in the supplies list, this is the Beauty Forever hair, and I had about 3 bundles of that, and I just washed and prepped that prior to usage.
I'm just going to show you guys how I finished. You really could do whatever design you want on your head. Yeah, you always can use some basic braiding hair. You won't even use 1/4 of a pack of braiding hair on this. So if you have any laying around or anything, it'll be perfect to use if you want a little bit more thickness sometimes, or if you just want to extend it. This is another moisturizer that I use. Take your rat tail comb, and then I think that I'm going to do another part right here, and I want this one to be a little bit smaller. So yeah, you really just do whatever you want with this part.
And we always want to make sure that we finger detangle our ends and keep them very moisturized in the process, so that we're not accidentally ripping extra ends off.
Finger detangle my ends because I got that nap hair. You see what this hair texture is in the back? Shoot, it ain't going nowhere. Well, it doesn't like to go anywhere, but so I just took this little section of hair off right here. Well, I might have a little bit too much, but I really don't add too much extra hair. So yeah, you want to start your braid off close to the edge if you can.
A big tip that I have to those that are planning on adding extra hair in as you braid is that you want to add the hair in small segments. Don't put a big old chunky piece of extra braiding hair in at once, because then it's going to stick out like a sore thumb within the braid. You have to do it gradually. So basically from there, you just repeat the process, and that was just about it when it came to the braids. This is what the finished product looked like right here, and I just put that up into a ponytail so that I can move on to the next portion.
This is the Smooth and Shine Black Seed Coconut Oil mousse, and I just put a little bit of that, patted it on top of my braids. And as well, I don't own any spritz, but I do have this Sleek and Shine hairspray. This is a 24-hour hold anti-humidity frizz protection and this is by Garnier Fructis. I actually used to use this on my straight hair just a little bit. I think I'll, spray a little bit more on there. It seems so weird to be spraying this like on my natural hair. Like, I don't put nothing like this on my hair, but for the sake of my braids, like, I want to keep them neat if I can, so I'm just patting it on in there. And then of course I tried to do the little bit of edges I do have over here and whatever, a little bit using this cream and nature argan oil, blah blah blah. And then from there I just simply bunched the hair up and I pulled it around into like a tight little bun knot so that I could go on to the next section. Alright y'all, so from there we moved to the back. All of my parts are not straight, but I really don't care. So basically I took my hair and I pulled a perimeter of the left and a perimeter of the right, and I did two big rounded braids on each side. Well, they're like medium size, I actually should say. So from there I braided around one side as well as the other, and then I simply braided down the back of my head. Okay, so there's that one side of my perimeter braid, and then I'm going to do the same to the other. And this is what the back of my head was looking like once I finished up the braids in the back. And then from there I just took my needle and my thread and I twisted the hair up in between the other braids in order to create my sewing base. So now this is what our hair is looking like. We have braided the sewing base, we also braided the front, and we got a little bun out of the way so we can get started. I went ahead and I just started right on with the sewing of the tracks. This is what my hair is looking like after, I think I had put almost 2 on my head at that. Well, no, I'm thinking it's 1. Either 1 or 2 tracks, but anyways, you just want to sew it in basically like a crescent type of shape, like a hill basically, in a hill-like shape along the sides. I also fold my bundles over. I don't necessarily cut them, but once I had got to the top, I did cut a little bit of the bundles, but other than that, for the back, it's basically just like a regular old sewing. I didn't mean to have to use my phone, but something going on with my camera, but we gotta continue. So basically I finished sewing the back of my hair on. This is what it's looking like. So when it comes to the perimeter, like the only part that has like just straight up track is right up here and like here. So like, because the way the hair falls, like it kind of covers up that stuff, as well as like the sides of my braids. Other than that, the only thing to do is the ponytail. So as I had did before, I twisted my hair around because I want it to be tight and tucked. From there, I went around the perimeter of my braids knot with some needle and thread. I just did that to reinforce and keep the bun together before deciding to wrap the actual track hair around that. Now that you've secured the braid bun, it's time to take that final track and we'll just be wrapping that tightly around the perimeter of the braid bun.
And then as well with the needle and the thread, you'll be going around the perimeter of the edges of the track line basically, that's wrapped around the bun, and you'll basically loop the needle and the thread around in order to reinforce its attachment to the braids on your head, so that you don't have your ponytail just loose and hanging and whatnot. Track line is running all the way through here, around and around of course, and then I'm just gonna loop around it to kind of try to secure it some more. So from there, once you've reinforced that first track around the perimeter of the bun knot, you'll also open up your ponytail and then put tracks on top of that as well, so that you have a full ponytail and so that there's not like any empty gaps in it. And here is our final look. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope that this helped you in your own styling process. Feel free to leave some comments, like, and subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys next time.